TSF Entertainment.
And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It's your boy Retro CG in the building tonight. What's good, everyone? Got a full panel tonight. What's up, fellas?
Yo, yo.
All right, tonight I am joined by DJ Fresh, Your Highness, in the building.
Can y'all hear
There
me?
you go. There you go.
There
What's
you
up?
There we go. There we go. I thought y'all laptop wanted to
I got you.
update last minute.
I got you. And we got Juggernaut of Souls in the building, aka Bishop, tonight. What's up, bro?
What's good?
We got a special guest in the building with us. We got Mr. OG Bobby in the building with you. What's good, bro? Oh, you're on mute. Let me get you unmuted.
Nah, he
All right, go
unmuted.
for it. There you go.
No, hold on. There you go.
Yep, you good. What's good, OG Bobby? Welcome into the panel.
I think the mic muted on his end.
No, he's good. All right, and we got our boy Jacka Jordans in the building. Mr. Remember It.
That's right. What's good?
Listen,
What up,
I
though?
don't want no problems out of you tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna give you some problems with this episode.
I don't want no problems out of you tonight.
I'm
What's
definitely gonna give you
good,
some problems
chat?
with this episode. I'm definitely gonna give you some problems with
What
this
up,
episode.
Chad?
And
Oh
whoever
my
don't
God.
like it, we can throw hands.
He's starting
God.
already.
Yeah, it's starting already. It's starting already. We got company and everything, and it's
I'm gonna
starting
turn
already.
my camera off and go take a flight real quick because he talking.
Yeah, we don't want no troubles out of you tonight. All right.
Oh, it's happening today for sure.
All right, so we're here to talk about X-Men 97. It's episode 2. Mutant Liberation begins. What did you guys think about the episode?
Great
It
episode.
was pretty smooth. It was okay. It was good. It was good.
Great episode. Great episode. This is the one that really pulled me in. This is the one that really pulled me in. The first episode was good too, but this one is the one that definitely captured me for sure.
Yeah.
They did good by how they released these episodes because they released episode 1 and 2 back to back. And I agree,
Perfect.
episode 2 was definitely one that like, okay, we got something here. Because, I was a little worried at first. I was a little worried, like, what we getting ready to do here?
Episode 2 had me like,
Fire.
oh, I got to wait all the way to next Wednesday. That's how episode 2 had me.
Yep. All right, so we gonna go ahead and jump in here and start this thing. Like I said, Jack, I don't want no problems out of you tonight, sir.
It's too late. That cake been baked. It's too late.
Oh my God. All right, so episode 2, episode synopsis is when Magneto is forced by the UN to stand trial, a group of anti-mutant rioters test his resolve. So in this episode right here, we got some things that we're going to talk about. So just like we said last week, each week the episode title cards is a different intro. It's the same intro, but they changed some stuff around. So in this one, you saw Storm back in the animated series where she was fighting Callisto in the Morlocks tunnel. You got Bishop in his time travel. We have Magneto added to the title card as one of the X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and Asteroid M. So that was pretty dope. So seeing the intros, I'm like, okay, the intros kind of set you up for some of the events that are going to happen in the episode. It also gives you Easter eggs on what's going to happen in future episodes. So I really like what it was doing with the title cards. Right. Episode begins with that nosy news lady. What's her name? Trish, whatever her name is. She's reporting about an incident that's happening. Probably at Coney Island, where one of the Ferris wheels had broke down, and came through and saved the day. Shout out to Magneto, came through and saved the day. Whatever they shocked, Magneto came in, he did his thing with his powers. I'm like, okay, Magneto. I love what they did with Magneto at the first part of this season. At the first part of this season, I love what we getting with Magneto. I ain't too much fond of the outfit they got to be in, but It's Magneto, yo.
It ain't.
That's
It
Ric
ain't really
Flair.
captured me that much, but it's yeah, it is Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
But it's cool though. It's cool. They kept Magneto true to character. You know, he has some bars in there, of course.
Yeah, he
You know,
did.
he's like the Ti of dialogue when it come down to mutants.
Yeah.
And
he
if
spit
anybody know
bars.
Ti, yeah, anybody know Ti, he's
Yeah,
coming
he's-
with some words that you might have to look up. But they kept him true to character.
Hey, yo, Magneto's be coming with a dictionary, yo.
Shit, man, he's not a regular guy.
Nah.
Scott having a hard time with this, yo. Scott trying to feel like what's going on out here with Magneto. Like, you know, first of all, he's having a hard time with the fact that the professor bequeathed everything to Magneto, and he's like, why didn't he leave everything to me, particularly the X-Men? Like, why would you get us to Magneto? So Scott just trying to figure out, like, what is this all about? Like, you know, Magneto's been their fiercest enemy throughout their adventures, and he's just trying to figure out make this make sense for me. So I like this version of Cyclops. I really like what they're doing with Cyclops so far.
I mean, they kept him true to character too, because I thought he was a cornball in the last
He's still
joint.
corny.
Yeah, he's still corny. So yeah.
He is still corny, but this is the best adaptation of Cyclops that we've ever seen and probably will ever see.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our very pregnant Jean comes in, and you know, she tries to offer him comfort and let him know that, you know, maybe the professor left everything to Magneto because he didn't want to burden us with you know, trying to take care of the X-Men while he was away. So, you know, and she's also setting him up for like, listen, maybe we need to go ahead and step away from the team right now and, you know, focus on raising our baby or whatever. So it's interesting to see this dynamic between Jean and Scott. Kind of similar to their relationship in the comics. And Bobby, he can attest to that. He's our resident expert on the panel, our comic book expert on the panel. Jean and Cyclops' relationship in X-Men 97 is very similar to what they had in the comics. Cyclops, you gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go.
He ain't.
He can't do it. So then you got the UN or the United Nations, the leaders, the world leaders, and the military. You know, they all sitting around trying to figure out, you know, what they finna do with Magneto. And if what they seeing is what they believe in, like, you know, they look at Magneto as a terrorist, so they still consider Magneto as a threat, and you know they got to neutralize this threat. And you see who's sitting up in there with them? That's our girl, Val Cooper sitting up in there with them. I already know if she involved, it can't be good for you, Magneto. All right, so we see the executioner preparing his weapon. You know, we later on see in this episode what he's getting ready to do with the weapon, but you know, he getting ready for war.
Oh, FOH.
FOH. Them your people, ain't it, Jack?
I ain't say they was my people.
Your people.
Them your people, ain't it?
I ain't say it was my people, but they're very important to the whole X-Men series.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right, so we got the Morlocks. It was a nice cameo. What I like about X-Men 97 is we get a lot of camos with characters from either the animated series, characters from the comics. So once again, we see FOH down here. They don't pull it up on the Morlocks, and they're pretty much collaring them, you know, just bothering these folks. It's like Magneto comes through and let them know that, look, these people right here are in the sewers and y'all still see fit to bother these folks. I really like the message that we get in X-Men 97 because it talks about a particular group of individuals that are oppressed and the abuse and the harassment that they get from people that don't understand them or persecute them. So I really like what they're doing with that. Man, Magneto came through, restrained them real quick, yoked them up, you know, and pretty much saved the Morlocks. You know, I like Magneto right here, yo. He came through and told Leech, you ain't got to worry about it no more.
Ain't nobody ever gonna hurt you again.
Ain't nobody gonna ever hurt you again, Leech. So, and that's foreshadowing some events that are going to happen later on down the line as well. back at the X Mansion, Bishop and the rest of the crew, they try to figure out like what's good, yo. Like, why is Magneto how he now?
Why is Magneto playing the good guy?
Yeah. They're like, is this real?
Prior to that, Rogue was all like,
oh,
give him another chance.
She did. She did. She was encouraging the team to give Eric another chance because
I wonder
you
why.
know people turn over a new leaf. I told you don't start, man. Don't even start.
Hey, they shouldn't have started with me.
Magneto lets the team know that he has made arrangements for the Morlocks to be sent to Genosha. And he was pretty much taking a dig at the X-Men, like why y'all haven't taken the time to try to get the Morlocks out of the sewers and use y'all influence and y'all wealth and get them over to
Here's the
Genosha.
thing, though. They did, though. They did. If we go back into the original series after Storm,
she invited them. She did invite them. Yeah, she invited them to come to the mansion.
She said, "Why don't y'all come up and but they was like, nah, this is our home." You know, that was the one thing I was like, they did, but Storm wasn't there. Well, no, Storm was there. Yeah, but yeah, they did.
But you know, Magneto always got to get his digs in.
Oh yeah, he antagonist.
Yeah, he's definitely the antagonist. So they're sitting around having a meeting, and Magneto's pretty much letting them know, you know, how things are going to go going forward. He let them know what happened in the sewers with FOH and how he did not, you know, mess them up too bad. You know, he jacked them up a little bit, but
they hurt.
Yeah, he's like they hurt, but they'll be all right.
Hey, they ain't unalive, but they hurt.
They're right. They unalive.
He was like,
but,
of course,
you know,
they're not unharmed, but they will live.
They will live. Yo, what are y'all thinking about Magneto and the rest of the team right now? What were y'all initial thoughts?
I thought he had a whole nother agenda going. Like this was just kind of something he was going to end up trying to obtain their trust, and then after that, pretty much you know, kind of spinning the block on them and just messing them over. That's what
you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm done, Jack. I'm done.
I kind of thought the same thing for a minute, and when I say a minute, I mean maybe a split second. But even he saved the Morlocks. You know, I didn't really think he was gonna screw them over, and then you know, cornball Cyclops, let Jean read your mind. That was a little corny. That irritated me a little bit. I was like, man, shut up, Cyclops. Nobody really paid you no mind. You wasn't even really barely respected, you know, prior to. But I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. No, I think you know, Magneto took a couple of digs at him. You know, he kept calling him my X-Man to reiterate the fact that he's the new leader of the X-Men.
Exactly.
So let's fall in line, and this is what, and these are the bullet points and what we're gonna follow from here on out.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I think he had to establish, you know, and let Cyclops know and anybody else know that I'm the alpha in this house, in this mansion.
Yep, he's exerting his authority. Yeah, Cyclops come through and tries to get Jean to read his mind. We saw him do the same thing with Gyrick. So we see that Cyclops uses that as a dependency of his, that he thinks that Jean's powers are at his command. And she pretty much tell him that, listen, y'all, getting information is one thing, but using my powers to assess truth, you know, you might be telling the truth right now. That don't mean you'll be telling the truth later on. Right. Like, get over it. The will is what it is.
Here's the thing, though. His best friend, who is also his biggest foe, been doing this his whole life. Like he probably can, you know, change his thoughts, you know, later, you know. So that's why I'm kind of like, none of it really. It don't really matter, Cyclops. You know, you being a cornball right now. Sit down.
Especially when you know there's a telepath in the room. Like, you know, Mac, you don't know how to move through these streets.
Right. His best friend was, come on now, the best.
A telepath.
Yeah. Come on now.
First off, in this episode, why was Jean and Scott dressed like some Netflix 9 to 5 parents, bro?
That's what they are. But Cyclops has always been like that.
Yeah, he always dressed
look how they was dressed, bro. They was dressed. Wow, man.
He always dressed like a cornball.
Like, man, y'all go get back in uniform, man.
Yeah. So I'm assuming here because earlier in the episode, Jean had already told Scott that maybe they need to go ahead and leave the team since Magneto is there now. They need to focus on raising their baby, or whatever. So I take this as she's starting to pack up their stuff. They're getting ready to go. They're getting ready to be out. So her and Storm have a really good moment, and Jean takes the opportunity to share her thoughts and her feelings about getting ready to have this baby. She's hoping that this baby doesn't have the same problems that they've had, being persecuted by being a mutant. And we learn here that Storm kind of low key wishes what it feels like to be human. What did y'all think about that? I thought that was pretty powerful scene.
I mean, yeah, because that's all they know. They don't know nothing else but to be mutants.
Mutants, yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like they probably want a taste of just normal life or not being oppressed. Every time they they turn around. I mean, and they not like they can just hide in between. They can camouflage who they are. They've been on the news and everything, so everybody looking at them. So yeah, I could see that.
It's also foreshadowing events that are getting ready to happen with Storm, especially when
Absolutely.
she was talking about what she thought it felt like to be human.
well, was you saying something, OG Bobby?
You're on mute, bro.
You on mute,
Nah, he
bro?
not on mute. It's whatever. I think it's like his pause or something. Cause he unmuted, but he not. Yeah, like your sound not coming through. We can see you video wise. You good. Audio, it ain't working.
It was working earlier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Uh-oh.
changed.
Jack, you want to talk about this scene right here?
I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna give my
Say,
my
he
5
might need
cents.
to hop out and hop back in.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first, and I'll give you my 5 cents.
Okay. So in this scene right here, you see I'm waiting for him. I know he will get started.
Fresh, that laugh, man. That laugh.
That is very
sinister
evil.
laugh. Yeah, that was sinister laugh.
Sinister laugh. I'll tell you exactly what happened since he don't want to explain. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Oh God.
Let
Here
me
we go.
explain. Let me just give you from the perspective that everybody should see it. This is not an opinion. This is the fact. I'm talking like Stephen A. Smith right now.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about the scene.
Rogue walks into the office, and pretty much tells him like it's your actions that's gonna get the trust. It's not you try to push your trust on him and trying to force him. It is not. I have a problem with this though, because there's history between Magneto and Rogue. So the history between Magneto and Rogue is that back in the day, at some point they had a little thing going on. They was crushing on each other, doing whatever it is they was doing because Magneto was the only person that had the power to touch her without any incident or any accident or him losing his power or whatever. The problem is that there's still something there. You see, he touches her head, she pulls back and everything, and she says, "Yeah, let me keep that up under wrap, or I'm gonna punch you in the face." But she kind of already know, like nobody else could touch her the way Magneto touches her.
Oh, really?
That's a fact. My man Gambit been trying to, get on, and she creeps into the office the moment that she could have said that in front of everybody else. Why she ain't say that in front of everybody else? She wanted to wait and had this moment to tell him that now in the privacy of his own office. Come on now, we know. Come on now, you want to see if you could. You want to see if something's still there. You fishing.
No, that's not what she went in there for. that is really your perception of what she went in there for.
Let me tell you why does my perception, because of everything else that takes place later on. The first initial perception was okay, she's going in there to maybe have this conversation about whatever. But once it was revealed that they had their thing going on and touching and all this other type of stuff, the moment he touched her and nothing happened, all those chills came back, yo.
Are you finished? Are you finished?
Bobby again.
No, he ain't finished yet.
Man, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Yeah, there you go.
My God, thank you.
Everything comes. Yeah, Roll do like older men. I'm just saying, poor Gambit. See, support gaming.
Are you
I mean, the thing with Rogue though, bro, is kind of justified though. I mean, when was like ever in life have she been able to touch anybody though, bro?
Oh, I ain't say it wasn't justified. I ain't say it wasn't justified.
Okay, then.
However,
that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
I mean, because she's not only mutant, but she's human too.
Exactly.
I ain't say
and you have to also
justified.
take into consideration that it's a major thing for her not to be able to touch people. She's battled with that. She's battled with that from the inception of her mutant powers. That the inability to not touch other people, that fucks with her psyche. She went in there to talk to Magneto and let Magneto know that if he wants to fit in around here with the rest of the team, try a different approach with them rather than demanding their trust, earn it. And that was real powerful that she went in there and told him that. It was Magneto that brought up their past history. You see, she tried to de-escalate him. She was basically like, listen, that happened a long time ago. We ain't on that time right now. Like, we ain't on that time right now. He even went to go try to take a glove off. She was like, yo, that was a long time ago. Let me go. Yeah. Magneto shot his shot, but you see, she didn't reciprocate.
All right, not at the moment. I agree. She thought about it this moment. Bro. She thought about it though.
She thought about it. After my man Gambit poor Gambit.
Poor Gambit what? Poor Gambit what?
Gambit was hurt, man.
Oh, Gambit definitely was hurt. He was having nightmares about it. Like, it was like one of his biggest fears. But that goes to that. I don't want to jump too far into that episode. But I don't want to jump too far into that episode because that's next episode. But there was fears that was tapped into and things that was subconsciously, tapped into about in the next episode. And what his biggest fears was. Just saying.
Okay. All right. Moving on. During this meeting,
that's what Rogue should have moved on.
She did move on. You see, she left, right? You act like I'm not going to even go there. I'm not even going to go there with you right now. The UN pull up to the X Mansion, right? And they're coming from Magneto. Magneto was like, prepared to do whatever it needed to be done. Magneto was ready to go ahead, go out here and let them know, like, yo, y'all pulling up on me. Like, what's the problem?
Right.
And Val come out there, she started talking shit. She talking about, oh, we got electromagnetic free weapons. So, like, he was like, oh, word? He was like, oh, word? You think that because of little plastic weapons? You think that you can come out here with plastic weapons and threaten me? I got something for you. And Magneto took control of the helicopters and said, you were saying? You said what?
Get them right.
Right. You said you gonna do what?
Classic Magneto.
Classic Magneto.
He was about to get them right.
Yeah, you about to get them right, yo. Somebody need to get Val right because she
like, hold on. Let me show you who in control here, though.
Yeah, let me show you who in control, right?
Yeah,
straightening for sure.
She be wilding sometimes, like
he put some straightening on her. You're like, oh, word? You think you gonna come in here and you threatening me? Like,
but you see again the pushback from Cyclops. Cyclops was like, well, we don't get worried when the good guys come, and Magneto was like, get ready, my X-Men, but Cyclops is still, giving that, still giving that pushback even after he'd have saved the kids.
Yeah, Val wasn't in the original X-Men animated series, but she was in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
They did have her in the comics, but I don't think she came along in the comics until like early 2000s or like in the 2000 era X-Men. She wasn't in the 90s era. Or at least I don't remember her character.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm about to say I don't remember her from the 90s comic, the Jim Lee.
Yeah, the chick that Beast fool with, she from back in the day.
Yeah, she from back in the day. Trish chick, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember Val Cooper being in the comics. Like she came later on down the line.
Man, and some folks gonna be like, "What do you mean later on in the 2000s? Those are our OGs," but they kind of new to us.
So let's just touch on that just for a little bit for those who are the non-comic readers. But throughout the course of X-Men, there has been several different. Think of it as a showrunner. You know how you have different showrunners that maybe do this season, maybe do this show, or whatever the case may be. Throughout the comics, they've had different writers. So throughout that course, there's been different storylines. So the era that we're seeing right now in X-Men 97 is the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont era of writing in the comics.
That's what was on the shelf when I was coming up.
That was on the shelf when we were coming up, and that to me was the best run of the X-Men. Like when we got to the early 2000s and on forward, it has been just a roller coaster ride. But the X-Men that we're watching right now is back from the era in which we grew up, like from 95 to like 99 era. All right. So Magneto decides that he's going to yield, and he let them shackle him and collar him. And, you know, he goes away with them peacefully. You know, he didn't give them no troubles or whatever. He just, you know, let them do their thing.
And Cyclops
now
still
all
didn't
on
believe
TV,
him.
all in the camera, talking shit about the trial of Magneto or whatever. I'm just like, I knew right then and there, and I meant to pop it in our chat when we was watching the episode in real time, that I don't know if I said it then, but I was thinking it. I was like, yo, this Val chick, she finna be a problem. I feel like she finna be a problem because she's just, every opportunity she's taking a dig at Magneto, and she's just trying to incite something.
I
Like,
think
you
she's
see the man
adamant
is
that he's a bad guy. I think she just
in her mind, there is no
change.
rehabilitation. He's a bad guy. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. I agree with that.
Even though he said, you know, if I'm exonerated from everything, you know, are we good? But she's just trying to like, she pushing the field goal post further and further back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
And I felt like she didn't have no intentions on giving him due process. I felt like she was going to go through the motions, but if the events didn't happen the way they happened, I don't think things would have went in Magneto's favor. I think she was convinced in her mind he's a villain and we need to treat him as such. Agreed. So Wolverine and Jean are back at the mansion. I'll say again, like I said last week, I really like the fact that they're giving Wolverine a bit of a backseat. Wolverine is going to always be one of my favorite X-Men, but all throughout the course of X-Men, it's always been heavy on Wolverine. And I'm like, there's so many other good storylines that they're not touching on, but they always touched on the ones centered around Wolverine. So I like the fact that they kept him back. He's at the mansion watching TV.
He's the best. Everybody love Logan.
Right.
Yeah. You know that Logan's automatically going to be a hit, but you know,
he's like the Stone Cold of X-Men.
Yeah. Let some people get a shine. Let some other people get some shine for a minute. All right. So Jean comes in. She's like, any updates or whatever? And he was basically telling her about, you know, how the Scott and the rest of the X-Men went down there to make sure that Magneto didn't act up at this trial. And, you know, he stayed behind with Jean at the mansion. Whatever. He takes an opportunity to make a dig at Jean, too, about, you know, her and Scott's plans to leave. You know, Wolverine pretty much put her on notice that, yeah, I know that you and Scott trying to, you know, pull up out on us or whatever, but, you know, it seems like y'all keeping a lot of secrets around here lately. So, you know, he took a dig at the love of his life.
Oh, now that's who we should feel sorry for, Jack. Wolverine.
Yeah, because
I don't feel sorry for Wolverine.
How you don't feel sorry for Wolverine? Wolverine don't get no love, yo.
When they come to Jean, oh man.
But she been with Cyclops already. Like she was already with Cyclops.
And ran through by Cyclops.
He can't help who he loved. That's all I'm saying.
He can't help who he loved. That's right, Bob.
It was different if he was with Jean and then Cyclops came around. Now she's with Cyclops. You know, that'd be a little bit different. Like she just dropped him for Cyclops. You know, kind of like my man Remy LeBeau got dropped. But that's neither here nor there.
You might as well get used to that uncanny Bishop and OG, because Jack ain't gonna let that go through all of these. That's all he can go.
But you say that like Gambit and Rogue are married. They're not. They weren't in a relationship. They were flirtatious at best. They weren't even in a relationship.
That's fine.
That didn't happen to her later on down the line as well.
That's fine.
I think Jack don't like because she friend zoned Gambit.
But again, that don't happen till later on down the line, and there was a reason for that.
I don't care what the reason was. She did it.
Oh my God, I ain't gonna get into it. So we got the protesters out at the UN. We got the protesters out at the UN. They talking about go back to where you came from. No more mutants. I was like, oh God, I know there's going to be some problems over here at this trial.
Right.
You said Wolverine should get reformed. That's who we need to really talk about support game. That's who we really talk about. Storm and Wolverine actually did have a little. They had a little thing. They had a little thing. Storm had a little thing with a lot of characters.
Oh my God.
She did. I mean, it's facts.
Oh, he don't want to hear that.
You don't want to hear that. You want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
She was with Wolverine.
If it ain't Rogue, he don't care.
You don't want to hear that she was with Black Panther. You don't want to hear that she was with Forge.
Oh boy.
OG Bobby, tell him school.
I pray that they let her do something with Black Panther somehow, some way in the MCU. I'm hoping, they can.
And when we cross
pull
that
that
path,
out.
and when we cross that path, I'm gonna let Storm have it too.
We just told you
Forge.
You can just let her have it now.
You're supposed to be faithful to
When we
Forge,
cross
that's
that
what you're
path.
saying?
When we cross that path, when she started
Let's
dating
go. You
Black
right.
Panther, when she started with
No,
the
he's not
Wolverine,
right, Bobby. He's not right. He's not
We'll
right.
talk that talk live.
He
We
acting
in
out,
season 1 right now.
acting out in front of the company again.
Oh,
We season 1 right now. That's what I'm saying.
we season 1 right now with Storm,
Season one
but
right
with Rogue, we hadn't even got to the events that even happened with Rogue, but you dogging her out already.
We did in this season.
All right.
I know what I saw.
You got the executioner getting ready to do what he do, and I'll get to that when we get to that because I got some things to say about that. All right. So we at the trial of Magneto. Magneto did his thing. Magneto went in there and told them what was up. Like, yeah, y'all see me as a threat. Y'all see me as a terrorist, but all you world leaders, y'all are just as much as a terrorist. Like, y'all built robots to unalive us. And you think there's no recourse from that? You think
Magneto was talking to him.
think that there is no there's no get back at y'all for y'all sending robots after us to unalive us? All right.
Magneto was talking to him.
He talked to him. He was spinning
His rebuttal
balls.
game is crazy.
Yeah. Magneto was like, listen, if we're gonna talk about the facts, let's talk about the facts. He was like, when I grew up as a child, I was in mutant concentration camps, and y'all sent people in here to unalive me and my family. Like, what you expect?
Magneto is, you unalive my dog, I unalive your cat. It's simple.
Yep.
It's simple. Don't think that y'all ain't do nothing to provoke this.
That's that backpack right there, bro. With the X on the strap.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find that backpack, man.
Yeah, we're gonna find it, Bobby. I guarantee you
I was
somebody got it
looking
on
for it
eBay.
too. When you said
It's
you
on
wanted,
eBay.
I'm sorry, I can't find it. I want the X on the strap. I know that's the right one.
Can you go back to the other picture with Rogue face?
No.
Man, CJ, mute him. Just mute him.
He hurt.
Better yet, I got you.
That's
I'm
it.
there you go. He's muted. All right. So so Gambit takes an opportunity to make you're muted, sir. Gambit takes an opportunity to make a dig at Magneto, basically telling Rogue like, well, shit ain't going well for him right now. Rogue feel a little guilty about it. She feel a little guilty about it because she does have a soft spot for Magneto, not necessarily because of their history, but because of the situation that he's in, because she feels like she's been in a similar situation where she's been looked at as the bad guy. So I think that's more so where her sympathy for Magneto comes from. Go ahead, Jack.
Nope.
Thank you. Thank you.
That man was having a fit.
Yeah, he was having a fit. That's why he was muted the whole time.
He said nope.
Nope. Oh man.
A support gamer says, imagine mutants actually existed in real life. I can already picture the fear. They do exist in real life. You know what they are? Black people.
I was about to get ready to say they do. Just in a different
We're the mutants.
All of us on this panel.
We're the mutants. They do exist in real life. It's black people.
I'm gonna just let y'all know.
And that's like not even a joke. That's what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby meant for them to represent, man. Like all the way there.
Oh man.
Yep.
Okay. I just got some schooling because I had no clue. I never knew that.
That was actually
people of oppression.
Bobby is right about that because that's actually from the 80s, like from the 80s up into the early 90s. That's kind of what the X-Men kind of signified as. You know, they were a representation of that. That's why you had Storm as a black character. They cross lines where back in the day, remember, like back in the day when we were watching like He-Man and other cartoons and stuff like that, you didn't see predominant black characters. Right. You didn't see powerful black characters or whatever. So, you know, they kind of pushed their envelope a little bit by introducing black characters and black characters with powers. The mutant race was supposed to have been the black people, basically. That's big facts.
Big facts.
I mean, I know they was displaying like discriminatory things towards their kind, but hey, you learn something new every day. I didn't know that was like
I learned that's
the agenda. Yeah, I didn't know that was the agenda. Learn something new every day.
5.
But that's why I have always loved the X-Men, and I've always loved their stories because they have been centered around some of the same struggles and fights that we face even today as a society, as a nationality, as black, as people of color, as a minority. That's what they were. They were a minority. The mutant race was considered a minority.
Exactly.
And the same way that people are treated indifferent because of their color, the mutants were being treated the same way as, you know, black people were. All right, so these protesters, they bust through or whatever, and the UN Council, they sitting up there looking high, sitting high, looking low. Imagine that. We don't experience that in real life. Sit high, look low, down. So, they must have came from Magneto. And
this is my favorite part of the episode, bro.
Yep.
This is my favorite part. The realization that they're about to come to right here.
And listen, they were just sitting up thinking that, they just here for Magneto. No, they here for y'all too.
Right.
And they were like, what did we do? Y'all gave a black man a trial. Y'all gave Magneto a trial, basically. So they basically telling them right now that they not only here for Magneto, they here for y'all too. Now y'all scared. Now y'all scared.
Mutant lovers.
Mutant lovers.
How dare you get him a platform to prove? You know, how dare you?
Bobby, you speaking facts. All right, so Cyclops jump into action as a team leader. You know, he tries to get the X-Men. You know, they mission is to de-escalate the rowdy crowd, the rioters, and you know they go out there and they do their thing. You know,
they go Jack of Jordan people, FOH.
Yeah, there go his people. FOH. You know how them light skinned folks is. They don't always represent us. You know, some of them light skinned folks, they always don't represent us. They act like they them.
That's they what?
That's your people, ain't it, Jack?
Ain't that something? I'm a fan of the show.
Hey, but how do you feel about somebody in real life if you see them with that FOH shirt on? You're like, dude, what are you really trying to say?
Yeah, right.
I mean, other than you, Jack, you know, like if you just see a random person out there, you know, like,
friends with humanity.
Jackson, right. FOH shirt on. He won't be on the panel that night if he wears it.
They watch the show. Ain't that something? I'm gonna change in the middle of the show.
And your camera will be turned off the whole time, sir.
It's basically a Confederate flag.
That's exactly what it is. It almost makes you feel like that because of the colors and everything. It makes you feel like it's a Confederate flag. That's the way I take it.
I wasn't the only one. I was thinking that too when I saw it.
I ain't never think of that.
Yep. Bobby spitting facts at us right now.
Oh, you want the FOA shirt, Jack? Go and get it.
Yeah, you want one, Jack? Go ahead and get it.
Yep.
It's because I'm light skinned. See, it's even different for light skinned people, but we ain't getting into that.
At least you're not biracial. At least you're not biracial, but I'm saying, though, you light enough to pass for one.
Ain't that something?
This our little brother right here. We love him, y'all. We give him a hard time because he gives us a hard time. All right, so Jean in this moment right here goes into labor, and you know her one true love has to take her to the hospital. I love it. I love it how we get to see moments like this play out through the animation that we didn't necessarily get to see in comics. You know, in comics, they really didn't go through the whole pregnancy storylines. You know, a baby would just pop up, and you know, so they're taking us through all the motions of Jean being pregnant and going into labor and whatever. And we never got to see that back in the animated series. We always saw Cable. We always saw the Summers family kids, but we never got to see her actual give birth to him. So I thought that was really dope that they decided that.
Wolverine was ready too, though. He was like, "Who's here? Apocalypse?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, Logan.
Go. Yeah.
So we got the Executioner. I got I got things to say about this. I feel some kind of way. How is it that he took down the entire team by himself, single-handedly?
Right.
I didn't like that show of power. I did not.
I did not like that show of power at all, yo. That was like, no, he should not have been able to touch one of them, let alone all of them. Yo,
slight work for everybody.
Bishop alone.
They're gonna leave Bishop alone. He fucked Bishop up, man. Why come the black man got to be the only one that got collared? How come he got to be the only one that got collared?
Facts.
And then we know what happens with Storm. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we already told you what's up. We told you what's up. We told you what's up. Why they got to fuck up the black characters? Just like in the last episode where they was the one that took the blast. Like, you know.
That's right. Showing up. That's right. Him and Storm.
Yep.
Yeah, him and Storm. Execution is the KKK. Right. That's exactly what it was. Yo, I'm with Bobby on this. I did not like this show of power right now, but damn, did he not fuck Cyclops up?
Yo, he was working Cyclops. I didn't like
he
that
worked
either.
Cyclops.
Man, got blood out of him.
Man,
he was giving him
over.
Right, drew blood out of him. Look at him.
Hands and everything.
It was getting ready to finish him. Finish him.
But the dialogue here in this scene kind of shows you like more of the discrimination when he was just like, you think you people got it hard, we the ones that got it hard, or you think y'all got it hard,
right?
You think y'all the ones got it hard, we the ones that got it hard. The difference is that y'all just complain about it, you know. So it kind of
do that not sound like a white man talking to black folk?
That's absolutely sound like it.
Okay then,
absolutely.
He worked Cyclops over because he owed him one from the warehouse.
Was he at the warehouse?
Yeah,
I think he was at the warehouse, wasn't he? He fucked Cyclops.
I don't remember Executioner being at the warehouse.
He wasn't dressed as the Executioner.
He
was there. You're right.
He was there.
Oh, you know,
you're right, Marvin, because he was the one that said he was the one who said that they wasn't scared of Storm. Called a whip.
I remember now. He changed it to the Executioner. That's right.
Yeah, he put his uniform on. His superpower.
Boy, look at that Mega Man blast, the boy. He was going to give him that work.
He was getting ready to give Cyclops that work, man. He already gave it to him. We talking about getting ready to give it to him, man. He fucked Cyclops up.
He had that boy charged up. He was going to finish him off real good.
And took his blast and everything. Took his optic blast and everything, yo. That's crazy.
No way.
Morph came through, saved the day. Mr. Cameo himself. So we get the first cameo, Lady Deathstrike. Shout out to Utico, Lady Deathstrike. Then he changed into Colossus. That's my dude right there. I love me some Colossus, yo. I need him on the team full time, yo.
That dude is funny.
He have Colossus strength is the question.
Well, let's talk about Morph's powers, because Morph is not a real character from the comics. He was created for the animated series, but then they later on are adapting this character now to Changeling from the comic. But I'm assuming the powers, well, I guess the powers is supposed to be he's able to use a portion of their strength or a portion of their powers, but not fully.
Yeah, I think he can use the skill.
But I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that. If you're gonna change it to these folks, man, know how to use their powers. He changed it to Psylocke. That's my girl right there, Betsy Braddock. I really wish we get that storyline too, because she was a clone too. She had a little clone situation going on too, and both of them were part of the team at one point too. So I would
game and Morph laugh was extremely annoying in the original. And no, I didn't see enough of Morph in the original to even like his character. It was like he was there. He was
alive half the first season.
Yeah, like he was there. Then Mr. Sinister came through and did whatever he did, and he popped up like an episode and a half.
I like what they did. I like what they're doing with his character because it's giving us the cameos. Because in the reality, and Bobby could probably agree with this, but in reality, a lot of these people that he's changing into are people that are actually supposed to be on the team right now. Like Archangel, Psylocke, Colossus, they were actually on the team during this time. So I like how he's changing into those characters because they were actually part of like the X-Men Blue team, I want to say.
And I like how he went Archangel instead of regular Angel when he did that too.
He went Archangel, yep.
Yeah, I like that.
because I vaguely remember Morph on the original. So his
after the second episode,
his story
after the
short.
second episode of season 1, you didn't see Morph till like season 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, when Mr. Sinister popped up.
Yeah, you remember they thought he was unalive. Or whatever.
I don't even remember that. That's how.
Yeah, he was changing it to everybody. He busted into the mansion and all types of. He caused.
Yeah, because remember they broke into the mutant registration place, and he got captured trying to save Wolverine. So I like that they played off of
Wolverine,
that.
Fall back.
Because he was trying to save Wolverine even back then. So that letting you know that character and Wolverine were always close. But he changes into, but Morph came through and saved the day. At least at the very least, he saved Cyclops because Cyclops was getting ready to be up out of here. Morph came in and did his thing. He gave him a little work. That man down here trying to find his visor and everything. I'm like, man, if you don't open your eyes and blast off on this dude, yo,
man, right. Mega blast. Just shot through the ground last episode. Come on, bro.
Oh, okay. What's up, Tasha? After the snap, movies and TV says I think Morph can only copy physical powers. So physical strength. And that's true. That's true because we saw where he changed into like Juggernaut and the Hulk. He actually can use their physical strength to a certain degree. So that's a good point.
But any other powers, Storm and Cyclops, he ain't gonna be able to use that stuff.
Jean contacts Cyclops during this time and lets him know that she's going into labor right now. And I like how they handled that. You know, he contacts Storm like, "Yo, Storm, I got to go. Yo, Jean is having the baby right now. I got to get up out of here."
Storm, and I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked.
I really
in the middle of the fight, bro.
I really got to get up out of here. You look like Tommy Gunn on Rocky 5.
Hey, Tasha, you need to get up here with us, yo. You need to be in here with us right now. So Storm, he contacts Storm and lets Storm know that, listen, I got to be out. She was like, no worries. Go ahead. She told Rogue to go ahead and take Cyclops where he needed to go, and she took control of the situation. Like, I love how she exerted her authority in this situation. They were like, well, who are you? And she was like, listen, if you want to live, you're going to do what I say.
She started delegating quick.
She was delegating like a bug.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, yo, and by the way, uncall Magneto because we need him right now. We need them powers right now.
Man, a lot of people forget Storm's authority, man. You know, in the comics, when Cable is first like born as a baby, before Cyclops leaves the team, he fights Storm for leadership. Yep. And she beats him. And then he leaves. And then when he comes back, that's when we get our gold and blue teams.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying?
That is correct.
So Storm is not nothing to play with. And Simpsons told us she's Omega. Don't play with her.
She Omega. Don't play with her. And we also saw that. We also saw that in season. Maybe I can't remember what season it was, but we also saw that animated series when she fought Calypso for leadership of the Morlocks, and she didn't use her powers with no powers. Yep. Y'all better not play with Storm.
Man, I'm not even gonna lie. Up until X-Men 97, I didn't even know she was an Omega mutant. Like, I guess I never paid attention to the OG series. I mean, I watched it.
She wasn't Omega. She wasn't Omega. Nah.
Omega.
She wasn't Omega in the OG series.
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
No, you're not. No. Okay. No. I'm glad that they're starting to do that because even back in our animated series, they never showcased any of them as their Omega status. So we're now learning through this series their Omega status, and that didn't happen until later on down the line in the comics either, where they were identified as Alpha and Omega mutants. Because Jean is actually Omega as well.
Absolutely.
Jean, Magneto, and Rogue are Omega, which I felt like Bishop should have been Omega too, but we'll get there.
Iceman becomes Omega later too, bro.
Iceman is Omega as well. Yep.
And that's somebody else I need too, bro. While we talking about people we need, I need some more Iceman.
Yeah, we need Iceman. Yeah, we do need Iceman because I forgot about that because after Emma Frost went in and tweaked his powers or whatever, she did bring him to his Omega status as well. I forgot about that. Yeah, he is Omega as well. Hey, Wolverine jacked up the doctor at the hospital. So what do you mean you don't do mutant births? Like,
catch these claws.
Hey, did the doctor have some good points though, y'all? If we being real,
he did.
He did.
Thank you.
He did.
But how did he even know that Jean was a
We got a
mutant?
whole Phoenix.
But how did he know that she was a mutant though? It's not
But
like she
like I
had
said, they always on the news though. Like you know that
That's
X-Men.
true.
The X-Men is the easiest ones to spot. They're the easiest
Yeah.
mutants to spot out of everybody.
That's true. All right, Tasha, yeah, you're gonna be in here with us next week because you know you be talking that talk. Hey, we got a female on here that's hard in these comics and on this stuff, man. Tasha be going hard, yo. We got to get her up on here. All right, let me see. Morph is completely original. If so, Marvel wanted to use him in the MCU or Fox. They can't. I mean, we've had shape-shifting characters on the X-Men team. We've had several of them.
Yeah,
Several
I mean,
of them.
even in the movie, what was the girl?
Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique. Yeah. So
who's not a good guy. Hate how they did that, but go ahead.
That's what it is, Tasha. You're right. They now own the rights to the characters because back in the day, back in the original X-Men animated series, they didn't have that problem with licensing and who owned the rights to these characters or whatever. They were able to use however they wanted to. It wasn't until Marvel went bankrupt that they lost the rights to X-Men. They lost the right to be able to use other characters that they had done sold off to other entities. So that's one of the reasons now that Disney owns all of it,
yeah,
they can use however way they want to. Man, Wolverine said, you want to catch these claws? I'll give you a C-section.
Right.
Wolverine better fuck the doctor up. And it was interesting how they chose to use Rogue's powers. That was dope because I was thinking because in the comics as well as in the original animated series, they always use the telepaths to kind of get the information out of someone and be able to learn how to do something. But the fact that they use Rogue's absorption powers to get the knowledge from the doctor on how to give the birth, I thought that was dope.
Hey, but if you look at the last slide, if you look at that slide, how Wolverine is acting more like the father, and Cyclops getting carried into the hospital.
He just got beat up by.
Because he just got worked.
As Miss Honey would say, I wish Miss Honey was here. As Miss Honey would say, he just got mollywopped.
Look at how Wolverine hemming up the doctor. Like, what you mean you can't do it? What you mean you can't deliver the baby?
Right.
Cyclops just got smacked up.
Like, hey, yo, I need that doctor, bro. Don't
Cyclops just got smacked up. What are you talking about? That man disoriented right now.
Y'all can answer this question for me because in this scene right here, I never seen Rogue use her powers. It was almost like Rogue was like, what's it called? She was almost like Jean, like the teller. You know what I'm trying to say? I can't say. I get tongue tied. Where like she just took over the doctor and made him like, I'm gonna take your powers or something, and I'm gonna deliver the baby. Like I've never seen Rogue in that capacity before.
That's what I was saying. That was. They don't use Rogue's powers like how they are designed. So Rogue's power is not just she touches you and she gets your physical, she gets your memories and your knowledge and all that stuff as well. So that's why I said it was a very interesting how they chose to showcase Rogue's powers, that they actually gave her that ability to get that knowledge from the doctor just by touching him, not just his strength or physical attributes, but she also gets the knowledge as well. So that was really dope. I really like
you recall Fresh when when they took off Juggernaut's helmet and she grabbed Juggernaut and all the memories of Xavier came in and all that stuff and the OG one.
Okay.
That's something that's kind of similar to what it is. It wasn't just about the powers. It was the memories and you know
I was like, wow, she tell her. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I was like, oh, she Jean now. She can go in people's minds. I was like,
because they even did it in the animated series as well. You remember the episode where they did Rogue's backstory and how she got Miss Marvel's powers? She also got all her memories.
Yeah, she got the memories too.
She got the memories. Yeah, she
like,
got her conscience.
I get the powers, I get the memories too.
Yeah, she got her whole conscience. You know, her conscience was living inside Rogue. You know, Jean had to go in and help her.
Yeah. I remember that one. It was an ugly Miss Marvel.
Yep. So I thought that was really dope that Rogue came in and did what she needed to do and she delivered the baby.
Yeah, I forgot about that episode.
So we got Nathan. We finally got Nathan. But in the comics, his name was Nathan Christopher
Summers.
Charles Summers.
Yeah, I knew it was Christopher though for sure.
Yeah, you have to put that Christopher in there. Yeah, you see it.
Because I called you, I was like Christopher.
Yeah, you called me that one day. You called me that Nathan Christopher. Wolverine on the sideline again, man. Poor Wolverine.
After he
Wolverine would
didn't
have got beat up like that.
He was hoping that baby came out hairy.
Right.
See, Retro, you should have posted right here that picture I sent y'all in the chat.
Yep.
That picture was hilarious. Oh my God. I think there's like 10 different people.
Right. Poor Wolverine, yo. All right, so these riders out here, they blasting off in the UN or whatever. Magneto got that shield up or whatever. You know what I like about this, what they're doing with X-Men 97? I like how they're using their powers in tandem with each other. I love that, yo. I thought that was really dope how they use team powers, how they use each other to Magneto created that barricade and Storm electrified it. That shit was fire. I was like, yo, great use of their powers together. I like that.
That man said, be animals.
Be caged.
He said, be caged.
Be caged.
Listen, I got to get ready to get up out of here, but real quick, I actually thought like for a split second that Magneto was go back to old ways, but when he pretty much sent him up into space and had a different type of conversation with him and had his foot over him, I was just like, yo, Magneto, he showed him like, if I wanted to do y'all this way, I could do y'all this way. But I could do you in right now, yeah. I'm choosing the path of Xavier. Why are y'all making it so hard for me? Pause. Why are y'all doing this? Like stop. This stuff is real, and it constantly goes on. You see what we have to go through. Like, this dude is nothing but a worm to me. I can crush him, but I'm choosing not to, even after the other things take place. Bro, I got to get up out of here. I'm gonna be listening, and I'll holler at y'all next week.
All right, bro. We'll talk to you in the chat.
You know what? That makes so much sense, support gaming.
But that is true too.
That's an absolute fact.
Yep. That's true.
One violent, one non-violent. That's an absolute fact. Stan Lee, I mean, you could Google this. Stan Lee is on record, him and Jack Kirby, attesting to this.
Yep. And like I said, it was during the time where all that was prominent. All that was going on in real life. So that's true.
They ain't have to do that,
Yeah, I gotta do my Googles because I'm learning some new stuff tonight. For real.
And listen, you got some comic readers in here. You got me, Bobby, and
I did, but
Asha.
Bro, it's been like what 30 years? Like,
it's been 30 years,
30, 40 years. That stuff done slipped my mind. So,
but that's what got so hyped for us. Because this is the true adaptation of the comic era of the X-Men. Like, all the stuff that we're seeing right here is actually how they were depicted in the comics. So that's why we're so excited about it, because it's the true adaptation of the X-Men. But what we saw in these movies and what we saw in other series of the X-Men, that was a watered down version. The version that we're getting right now is truly how the X-Men were introduced to us in the comics.
Especially Magneto. Like, look at what he's doing now. He never even did this in the movies.
Yep.
Like, he never. I mean, how many times did he use a force field in the movies?
Yep. In the comics, he used that force field faithfully.
Day one.
Yeah, that was his go-to thing. That force field.
It's not just him moving metal. He can fly. It's all kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, and he also, and we see it later on in the season. But yeah, people think that Magneto's powers are all just centered around him controlling metal, or whatever. But he has complete mastery of his powers. That's why he's Omega, because he can do other things with his powers. That, like, he can do that, like controlling the iron in your blood type.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he did that on I forgot the movie.
Magneto, that dude, yo. Magneto has they have always, even before they classified the Omega status, they have always showcased Magneto as OP. Like, Magneto was that dude, like, how to use his powers to his advantage. Which, this is why I have an issue with this whole scene right here. Dude got a force field up right now. So would Executioner's blast even have hit him? I didn't understand that.
I mean, I guess because then
I mean, did he drop it for a second or something?
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I missed that part. Maybe I missed that part where he actually dropped the force field, because I'm like, if he had the force field up, why would Storm even have to jump in front of him? Because like right now where he's aiming at him, he's got the force field on there.
I thought it was because the executioner with the Mega Man gun, they had built up all the different mutants
I'll be right back
into that whatchamacallit where it could penetrate that force field. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And that's how he was able to shoot through it. Like he was able to, you know what I'm saying, take all of the different mutants. Because remember on the first episode, that's what they were using to go against them. So I figured that I
never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I figured he just came up with something any type of way, like they just all meshed it all together, and it was going to be able to penetrate his force field, and that's how Storm was able to get hit. But y'all might be right where he might have dropped the force field for a minute. I have to go back and watch, but that's how I took it when he shot.
Definitely worth another watch then.
I'm still trying to see just that moment in front of it though, but
man, that moment there probably, man. I think that was the first moment. I'm
gonna have to roll with Bobby on that. I think that he probably would have dropped the force field because we've never seen anything. I can't remember. I don't know if you can, Bobby, but I can't remember anything ever penetrating Magneto's force field. I've never seen them show us anything penetrate his force field.
I mean, but if you,
I haven't either.
I mean, I try not to go back to the movies, but if you go back to like the movies, remember at one point the the Sentinels, they took out Bishop, like they took his powers and took him out. So I'm just thinking that like at some point, like they just meshed all of their powers together that was able to go through the force field. But like I said, I'll probably have to go back and watch this episode to see like if he dropped it for a second. I think it just went through the force field.
I think he maybe have dropped it because they have always shown Magneto's force field as being unpenetrable. So and right now he doesn't have it up right now. So Bobby might be right. Maybe he dropped the force field because that's what I was having a hard time with. Like, Storm, why are you even worried about that? Magneto got his force field up right now. Ain't nothing get through that. Ain't nothing get through that. But we see her take a shot to the back. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, no, not Aurora. No.
Damn. You knew it was something serious too as soon as it happened, man.
I knew it was gonna be something serious, yo. Magneto was like, word, this what you had for me? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yo, when they showed her sizzling like that, I was like, man, Storm took a big blast, yo. I was like, yo, not Storm. Anybody else. They could have been anybody else. I don't even care if it would have been Bishop, but Storm.
They were bogus for that.
Oh my God, I was hurt. I was hurt for her, man. I felt that for her. Man, when she tried to use her powers and them shit didn't work, I was like, yo, what? I said instantly. I don't know if you did, Bobby. I said instantly. Tasha, you probably did too. I said life, death.
Yeah, I wouldn't. To be honest with you, the writing was so good. That was the first thing I said to myself. I was like, man, that was well written.
Yes.
And then maybe the life death came after that. But man, like just in that moment, the drama, and that's what makes X-Men, set apart from all other, animation for the most part. Like, especially that we came up in, in the 90s, if you compare it to its counterparts like other Marvel, TV shows like Spider-Man or Iron Man, this type of drama is only captured in X-Men. And man, that moment there, it was tough. It's tough even thinking about it right now. I'm not front. Like, man, that was tough. And I just knew Magneto was unlocked at that moment.
I thought he was going to go savage. I was looking for savage Magneto, yo. I hadn't even looked at the titles, Tasha. I'm glad you said that because normally when we review other shows, we always go through the episode titles or whatever. But I purposely stayed away from the episode titles because I felt like they was going to give me spoilers to the episodes. But when I saw that happen, for some reason, it just instantly popped in my head. We finna get life death. Because we had already started talking about wonder what storylines they're going to adapt for the show. And when Storm lost her powers, I remember that because that went on in the comics. That went on for a while. We saw here, they summed it up in a couple of episodes, but in the comics, Storm was without her powers for years. She went without her powers for a long ass time. So I was like, oh shit, they finna give us life death. I was like, yo, I can't believe that. I was like, yo, that's a storyline that's not even one of the more popular X-Men storylines. So I was like, yo, if they get ready to give us life death, we in for something, a real treat. Because they reaching back to storylines that people probably don't even know about. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Magneto yoked up the Executioner. He yoked up the Council. He said, you see what I mean? He said, this is what y'all want for us. This is what y'all want for us, powerless and scared. Yo, when he grabbed up them and took them out, I was like, yo, Magneto finna go savage. Finna go savage.
And that's another show of power, bro, that he can go that far in space.
Yeah.
You know, by himself. No ship, no suit, just his force field.
And
because
breathe.
if you look at the Marvel movies, they make it a point to show us how they lose oxygen, how their suits fail, you know, in space by, you know, going so far up, man. The people really don't realize how strong these mutants are, man. Like, they really on another level.
He is
I didn't mean
on
to cut you
the
off, but go ahead.
orbit of Earth. He's orbiting Earth right now. I was like, what?
Right.
See, that's exactly why I stayed away from him, Tasha, because I was like, yo, if I go through these episode titles, they're going to probably tell, because a lot of the episode titles were actually comic book arcs, like Life Death. Life Death was a comic book arc. Tolerance is Extinction actually was Operation Zero Tolerance in the comics or whatever, but it still would have pointed me in that direction. So that's why I stayed away from the episode title, because I was like, they're using actual comic book storylines for some of the episode titles. I was like, I got to stay away from that because I'm gonna find out what's going on. Man, I was like, I didn't know what Magneto was getting ready to do right here. I thought Magneto was going to drop these posts. I was like, yo, they savage.
I thought he was going to drop them at first, too.
He said, don't make me let y'all down. He was like, listen, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to do what Xavier wanted me to do. But y'all pushing me. I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Like, y'all pushing me. I'm gonna let y'all slide.
I think got an X-Men mug in his hand.
Yeah, they got X-Men mug. I need one of the mugs too. You know, I drink coffee too. I'm gonna order me one too. You know, so this was I felt like this was a showcase of Cyclops really accepting Magneto and like, okay, you know what? I like what you did today. I like how you handled yourself today. You know, I feel like me and Jean could probably leave and the team will be in good hands. So, you know, do your thing, Magneto. So I felt like that was a sign of respect right there. Man, I was like, Big Beast, you got to find a way to fix Storm. But I knew from Life Death that wasn't getting ready to happen. And when he told her that her powers were gone permanently, I'm like, yeah, we get ready to get Life Death. Whatever. So Storm is just sitting there processing right now. She processing like she don't even know what to do. And Jean instantly started talking to Hank about contact Mur Island. I was like, oh, yo, we finna get Mur Island, because in the comic books, whenever they needed help or whenever they had challenges and stuff that they couldn't figure out, they would always reach out to Mur Island to Moira McTaggart, and she would help them out and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna find a way to give Storm more powers back. I was like, yo, this is getting serious. Storm went in that room, she looked at that uniform, and when that thunder cracked, and she was scared of the thunder and the lightning for the first time, I was like, yo, this is serious. Yo, I was hurt for her. Yo, that was powerful in the writing, how they did that. That was like, for the first time, Storm is actually experiencing what the weather is like without her powers.
I was pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed too. She left that note for Jean. I was like, oh no, Storm ain't coming back. She go. Jean comes in, she get the letter, she read the letter, and she broke down. I'm so glad Jack ain't back. Now this thing, I'm inclined to agree with his original rant. She went in there for more than just a pep talk at this point. She went in there for comfort in this thing. She went in there for more than just a talk. Yeah, Storm didn't deserve that, but you know, it got to be the black character. You know, it always got to be the black character that get unalive. But he's about, I'm here though. Well, guess what? We can't hear you.
Okay.
So Gambit is outside Magneto's office, and he see Rogue leaving, tipping out. And he got the Queen of Hearts in his hand.
There you go.
Now he's hurt. He's hurt right here. He's hurt.
Should have threw the card at her.
Yeah, or threw it at the door.
Yeah, at the wall or something.
Boy up like.
Really,
let him
Jack,
know he was there.
Really, Jack, she wanted the strong box magnetized. She waited there long enough to get the box magnetized. I don't think so, anyway. Storm gets on a bus. She's heading to Texas or whatever. Jean is reading the letter that she left for everyone to the team and letting the team know that Storm is gone. And they all sad or whatever. And there's a knock at the door. I was like, what's this all about? And when I saw this, I got super excited. I was like, we finally getting Madelyne Pryor. I was so dope with that. That was so dope. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are they really finna give us Inferno? It was like, and that's one thing I was telling y'all about in the chats is like, they're not just taking one storyline and sticking with it. They're hopping around from storyline to storyline.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we finna get Madelyne Pryor. We saw this in the animated series, and they should have really gave it to us back then because Mr. Sinister kidnapped Jean like 20 times. He kidnapped Jean like 1,000 times in the animated series, but nothing never came of it. Like every time he would kidnap them, even in Wolverine and the X-Men, he kidnapped them. I'm like, they keep showing Sinister abducting them, but they've never showed us what happens. And in the comics, that's always what his mission was, to abduct the Summers, Cyclops and Jean, to get their DNA. But we never saw him use it. So we finally got to see what Sinister was doing with all the time the Nasty Boys would roll up in the animated series and they would kidnap Scott and Jean at the wedding and all that shit. They finally gave us what Sinister was after when he was kidnapping them, and that was the clone Jean Grey. And that actually happened in the comic books too. It's a little different. They kind of rewrote it a little bit here, but what happens here is what actually happens in the comic, but it's a little slightly different. All right, and we got Jean falls out in Morph's arms, and Jean's like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
That was the episode. I was like, yo, we own to something here. I'm like, yo, this shit is hot.
Shoot, looking back at it now, I'm just realizing this was the last time we saw Bishop, right?
No, we see Bishop next week. We get Bishop next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
you were that. We didn't see him to the end though.
Because remember in the next episode, they have that whole Nightmare on Elm Street episode.
I remember, but I'm saying like after that, we don't get him to the last episode.
To the last scene, because you remember he takes the baby into the future. We get Bishop a little bit next week.
No, but I was saying like after episode 3, we don't see him till 10.
Yeah, after episode 3, we don't see him no more. Yeah. After episode 3, he up out of here. Yep. All right. So after y'all watched this episode, what were y'all thoughts? What did y'all think was?
Oh, it left me on the cliffhanger.
Back to like what Jack said, it was one of those episodes where it was just like, okay, yeah, I know what type of time we are now. So you was excited for it. You was excited and ready for the rest of it.
Yeah. I was like, I wanted to see more. I definitely wanted to see more. I was like, yo, we need this. Like, I was mad that they did. At first, I didn't want them to drop all the episodes at one time because I would have binged it. But I was like, man, yo, this one episode a week, man. I don't know if I can wait. I got to see what's getting ready to happen, yo. The writing is great. The writing was great. Even from this episode right here, we saw that they were setting us up for multiple storylines with Rogue and Magneto, and Gambit, Scott and Jean, Magneto. They were setting us up for multiple different things that was going on. And that's something that we don't normally see in the X-Men adaptation. Is usually one storyline based around one character and everyone else is kind of adapting to that character's story. But the fact that they were giving us multiple stories involving multiple characters, I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, fellas, any last thoughts?
None at all.
All right.
King
Okay,
Retro.
first let me see that Magneto shirt. Let me see. Okay, I like that.
Oh,
All
yeah, I'll
right.
show it to you once we get
Ah,
out.
that is hard.
Oh, okay, that's hard. All right, I like that. I like that.
Pause.
All right,
That is
y'all.
hard.
So
Pause.
make sure y'all hit that like button. That drop your comments in there. I know that we are kind of behind. Like I said last week, we talked about this. We should have done this in real time, but we want to give you our thoughts and theories on the episodes. So y'all drop y'all thoughts in the comments about the episode. We'll continue those comments. We kind of talked about that already, but we'll go ahead and talk about it again. I like the fact that Wolverine is taking a back seat to the rest of the team because most of what we've gotten with X-Men has always been kind of centered around the Wolverine character.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had just so many dope story arcs for the X-Men that did get touched on because they focus so much on Wolverine. And so the fact that they're giving us more of the other characters' stories is dope because we're gonna get our time with Wolverine. I'm gonna tell you that right now. After that Fatal Attractions episode, we're gonna get our time with Wolverine. We're gonna get time with Wolverine. And I hope that they do Feral Wolverine.
I see it coming.
I hope that they do Feral Wolverine because that was a dope arc in the comics where Wolverine was battling with him losing his adamantium. That was a whole run in the comics. So I think we're going to definitely get some time with Wolverine, but I think it's going to happen in future seasons.
He got a big storyline building up right now.
Yeah, it's building up.
With just his regular claws. It's a newer age story for what we like, but he's got a storyline that they can work with right now.
Yep.
Yeah, because I saw that.
I don't want to get too far ahead though.
Start the write for season 3 already. Like they got season 2 already written, and he's starting to get on season 3. So,
and we got renewed for season 4 too, right? I think they renewed. I think they renewed for season 3 and 4.
I think you're correct on that, Retro.
I think I read somewhere where they. I know they're starting on season 3. Season 2 right now is in animation, so they're animating it right now. So it's done. It's a wrap. Season 3, I think they're in post production on it, and I think they just got renewed for season 4.
That's crazy.
But I hope that we get longer seasons, just like in the original X-Men. I think after season 1, what was it, Marvin? I think season 1 of the animated series was 10 episodes, but after season 1, the episodes were longer.
Yep, episodes was longer, and then they had more episodes.
I don't think so. I think now it's at this point where they just know, like, just to give us 10 because they know people going to come back because they're going to want more.
I hate what they're doing with shows right now.
Dope, bro.
I don't see them doing it past 10 because if you look at anything that's Marvel, like everything, even
it's a 10 episode run.
Yeah, even the little, the Marvel, like
what if
Samuel Jackson, like his joints, like all of that stuff, it's always 10 episodes. So
I'll be shocked. I think that's a standard episode run for shows nowadays in TV now. Because back in the day when we were watching TV, when show seasons would be like hella long. There'd be like 20 episodes, 40 episodes for a season.
It was a season of X-Men. It was like 21 episodes.
I want to say that was season 2 or 3.
I think when I pulled it up, it was like one of them was like 21 episodes.
Yeah. Back in the day, man, seasons would run for a long run, like a long time. They would give you like a multi-part of a season. Like you get the first half and then you would get the second half of the season, like, between the season finale or mid-season finale, and then the second half of the season would be another 10 episodes. Man, all shows now seem like it's always a 10 episode run. And I'm like, that's cool. I hear what you say about that, but I don't like when they give us shorter seasons because I feel like they rush the writing. Because even in this right here, I think they could have stretched out some of these storylines just a little bit further, but they rushed them because they only had so many episodes to do them. But they did good with it. Even though they rushed them, I think they did a good job. All right, fellas. Well, we'll be back here next week, y'all. Y'all know where to find us at. Like I said, y'all drop y'all comments. We want to continue these conversations. Tasha, you in here with us next week? All right, well, we got one more question. As you know, what happened to Colossus. I thought he was an OG show. They did have an episode of Colossus and Ileana, his sister, Magic, which we had Morph give us a cameo of Magic. He was in the OG series, but he was kind of like in one of those just pass through, what I call pass through episodes. It was the episode of Mega Red in it. I want to say, I think they had Colossus in it.
You know, just like now, how they switch up the opening themes. If you were a Colossus fan back then, you just waited to see was he on the opening scene. You know, on the intro, the opening intro, when the song came on or whatnot, and they showed all the characters. He had a spot on there, but not on every episode.
Not on every episode, so you knew that he was going to be in that episode, right?
Yeah, because he'll be. I remember his little shit that he did. You know, he kind of he hit a little flex or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Me and Bobby was talking about that the other day too. Like certain characters we would like to see, and since I know we're moving ahead, but since Forge is building his own team now, his own X-Men team, it would be nice if they bring Colossus back because Colossus has some really dope storylines too.
I'm sure they will.
There's some good storylines with Colossus in it too that I would like to see.
Right.
I'm sure they will.
And I definitely want them to do Phoenix 5. I definitely want them to do the Phoenix 5. If they do that, I'm just, I'm buying this on DVD. I'm buying this on DVD.
Omega Red, Juggernaut.
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah. But like I said, if we get Psylocke, we get Colossus, we get Kitty, Shadowcat, we get Archangel and Iceman, man, we'll be working with some real fire for real there. We'll be working with some real fire. Yep. All right, fam. We will see you all next week. All right. We appreciate y'all, and we are out.